Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Favi, and welcome back to Arrows DIY. Today is a fun video full of Dollar Tree DIYs using wood pieces. This is part of the What Would You Make challenge hosted by Rustic and Lace DIY and DIY Craftaholic. This month's guest host is Sandra from the Showman's Nest. I'll leave all their links to their channels in my description box below, as well as the playlist link for more wood inspiration. At the Dollar Tree, I picked up 4 of these arrow signs. I think they're for weddings, but you know, we're gonna change it up. I took some of this nautical blue paint and I painted one arrow completely front and sides in this chalk paint. I'm also gonna paint the top of the next arrow, just the top part, because we're gonna decoupage the rest of these. So off camera, I went ahead and I painted all the other arrows in white acrylic paint and I gave it 2 coats. Now I'm gonna go ahead with these napkins. Now, as you can see here, the designs are up to you. You can pick whatever napkins you like, but since I'm going for a festive summer decor, I'm gonna go ahead and use these napkins, and they're all from the Dollar Tree. And I thought that these were fun patterns and perfect for summer barbecue and festivities. So I'm gonna take one of these and some of this Podge Multi. I got 2 different bottles to test try, and I got the gloss and the matte finish. Today we're just going to be using the matte finish for our projects. Now, what's cool about this Podge Multi is that's basically all the different Mod Podges in one. It's dishwasher safe, washer machine safe, indoor and outdoor. So we're just going to give all of these arrows one good coat, because once it dries, we're going to do my favorite Mod Podge hack, the best iron-on method to decoupage with no wrinkles. So I took the first napkin and I'm going to separate the ply. Since this is a Dollar Tree napkin, it only has 2 ply, but it took me a really long time to figure that out. But here I just took a little bit of Mod Podge between my fingers to make my fingers sticky enough to separate the ply in the napkin, leaving me with just the one, which we are going to work with right now. So now I'm going to rotate this napkin and just look for a good edge that looks nice and neat, not all crooked and weird. And I'm going to line it up to the bottom of that top triangular part right under the arrowhead so that we can decoupage this. So once I have it in position, I'm going to take some parchment paper, which is also from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to rip off a piece. I'm not sure why I could never rip off a nice, straight, even piece, but it works just the same. So I'm going to carefully place it right on top of my napkin, making sure not to shift the napkin. And I'm going to go in with this mini heat iron on a high setting, and I'm going to start in the center and work my way up. And once that's ironed on, I'm going to drag it down to the bottom of the arrow. So just to make sure that the entire thing is bonded to this arrow. And I just go up and down a couple times around the edges to make sure that those are really adhered as well. Because if they're not adhered, you can rip your napkin. So after this step, we're going to sand it off, and if it's not fully adhered properly, it will tear your napkin. Now, as I was ironing here, you can see that the arrow right next to it also got stuck. So instead of ripping the napkin, I decided to just lay down the parchment paper again and just iron on the napkin to the bottom half of this arrow. Now, I'm going to make a assorted look on this arrow, because these are going to be little dynamite, little firecrackers for my decor. So I'm going to carefully peel back the top part of the napkin, and then I'm going to fold it over to create a straight line, and then I'm going to use my X-Acto knife to cut it right at that crease. And then I'm going to iron the top of it down so that it's nice and neat. Now I'm going to use this other napkin from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to line it up to the bottom of the arrowhead just as before, and I'm going to make sure that the checkerboard is centered just so it's not annoying to look at. It's little details like this that make it look more professional, in my personal unprofessional opinion. So now I'm going to do just as before. I'm only going to show you this on these 2 arrows because I basically do the same thing with the other napkins. So I'm going to lay the parchment paper right on top of the napkin, and with the mini iron just rub it right on top. And guys, it's that simple. It's so flawless. I love this method. No wrinkles ever. So now I'm going to go ahead and just trim off the excess napkin around this arrow, and any parts that overlap like this, I'm just going to cut with the X-Acto knife to give it a nice clean finish. Now I'm going to take some Dollar Tree sandpaper. I'm going to fold it in half to make it a little bit more sturdy, and then I'm just going to sand away from my body, in the direction away from my body, so that we can get a nice clean edge on all of our arrows. And this is what we're left with. Now I'm going to show you all of these. These are all the different patterns that I've made for all of the arrows. Very festive and fun, but remember, you can choose whatever napkins you like, or no napkins at all, and just paint your little arrows however you want to do it. Now you can use, I'm showing you here, an assorted variety of lace if you're not into the retro look, but I wanted these to be fun. So I'm going to take this hanger I think I got this at Dollar Tree, I'm not too sure, it might have been Family Dollar, but you can find these anywhere, this little tinsel ribbon, and I thought this would be a fun addition just to add to our festive summer decor. And I'm going to go ahead and just hot glue it to the top portion here. We're going to be adding these arrows to the back of a sign in a little bit, so I'm not going to add this to the middle portion of the arrows. It's not going to be visible, so I don't want to waste this tinsel on a spot that's going to be covered. You know what I mean? So I'm going to go ahead and just line the top of this arrowhead, and then I'm going to do the same thing to the bottom. Now I have the 3 colors on that USA sign, so I'm just going to go ahead and use the 3 colors in different variations because I want this to be very assorted. I want it to be very random and fun. So once I finished with that red tinsel, I went in and I added the white one as well. I'm not even sure if this is called tinsel. Let me know in the comments below, what would you call this? I feel like calling it tinsel ribbon, but I know that's not right. So I go ahead and I just add some hot glue to the top of this arrowhead, and we're gonna add the white tinsel. Now I do take this down just a little bit, but not all the way. And then I'm gonna add some more to the bottom of the arrow, as you can see here. And this is just gonna make it look like these firecrackers are on fire, just to give it some, fun cuteness. And I just decided to add a little decorative feature to one of the firecrackers, and I just cut little strips of that white and red tinsel and adhered them with some hot glue, like so. Like I said, all of this is completely optional. It's just ideas for fun home decor on a budget. Very important that all this is on a budget. So I thought this looked really cute with that fun napkin. And as you can see here, I'm going to show you all of the different assorted patterns with these napkins and how I matched them up. And this is the last arrow I'm going to show you here. I'm just going in with the blue tinsel and I'm adding that to the top of this firecracker. And I think this is turning out so cute. Now to put these together, we're going to use this sign. This is from the fall at Dollar Tree. It was on a sunflower sign. I just removed it a while back, so I'm just going to use this as a little banner for our sign. I want this to go on a wreath in my home, so I'm going to go ahead and just paint this all white so that we can remake it. I love making over all these little pieces from Dollar Tree. Now I'm going to take some stickers from Dollar Tree, and I love how this one looks handwritten. If you don't have a Cricut, this is an awesome option. So I'm going to go in with some black paint. The black paint I use is called Sugar Metallic Black Comet. So it has kind of like a sugar grain to it, and I thought that was really cool for a firecracker effect. It kind of reminds me of hot coals. So I'm going to go ahead and give them 2 coats, and it did take some time to dry. Now I'm going to write the word firecrackers here. So I just wanted to make sure to start with the center letters to help me with the spacing. So as you can see here, with very extensive mathematical calculations, I calculated the middle letters there, which is R and A. I also had to use 2 packs of these stickers because some of the letters repeat. As you can see there, the C repeats twice, the R repeats 3 times, and the E repeats twice. So I did need 2 packs. Now once this is nice and dry, I carefully peeled the stickers, And I kind of had to scrape the edges a little bit and carefully so that that added paint that was on there doesn't take away from the shape of the letter. So as you can see here, I'm just going to kind of place them, but not fully press them down yet, so I'm able to shift them if I need to. And you'll see in a little bit I do need to. And once I get all the letters on there, I had to construct the letter R because there was only one capital R on each of the sticker packs. So I did have to use the letter P and another little tittle there just to make the letter R, and that worked out just great. As you can see here, I'm just going to go in and carefully shift the letters so that they're nicely aligned. And I am going to have to touch up that paint right there in the center, but it's no big deal. It's very simple. If you don't have the patience for stickers like this, you could always use your Cricut or hand letter them. I think hand lettering gives a rustic charm, a handmade feel to your projects. So don't let anything stop you from creating. I'm going to go ahead and add some Mod Podge to seal this. I also added some Mod Podge before I put the stickers down to help them stick a little better, since Mod Podge is a glue and sealer. So I hope that this Mod Podge will protect my letters from wear and tear. It is indoor and outdoor safe, so I think this is going to work really well for my wreath. Now I'm going to use some of these little stickers from Dollar Tree. They are red, but they come in many colors. You could also paint these to the color of your choice. And I'm going to write the words "Live Within." Once it's applied there, I'm going to go ahead and seal them once again with some Mod Podge. Then I come in and I just touch up the letters with some black paint. And now with the help of my X-Acto knife, I'm going to add some more stickers on top. Now as you can see, I don't have a lot of space there for that spot, so I do end up cutting the letters in half and overlapping them just to get the proper spacing and sizing for this specific word. And I'm writing the word little. With the help of my X-Acto knife, I'm able to place them right where I need them. And I found that kind of helpful. Now the word for the letter E, I had to cut it in 2 places just to make it fit in that spot. But it worked out pretty well. And be careful with these specific stickers because when I went in to seal these stickers, they bled. And I didn't notice until later on when the Mod Podge dried. So I had to go in and touch it up with some more white paint. Now to add more of the festive feeling to this little sign, I went in with some of the silver tinsel. I got this, it was just in my stash to be honest, but it came off of like one of those Christmas tree cones, one of those like tacky decorations. I just pulled it off and I put it here because I think it's so sweet. And sometimes I like adding a little bit of tacky to my retro decor. I feel like it gives a nostalgic feel and a playful nod. So I'm gonna go ahead and just use some hot glue, and I actually hot glue it to the back of the sign so it kind of peeks through towards the back, but doesn't hide the shape of this banner sign because I really like this part. And I go ahead using some hot glue. The hot glue I always choose is Gorilla Hot Glue because I just feel like it works so well on so many different surfaces. So I'm gonna go ahead and just add this tinsel to the back, making sure to bend the wire to follow the shape of this sign. If you're new around here, I'd like to welcome you. My name is Favi. I'm a crafty mother of 6, and I love creating unique home decor on my channel, always on a budget. So if you like that kind of thing, I'll invite you to please subscribe and say hello in the comments below if you're new here, or if you're not. I just love hearing from you guys, so let me know whatever you want to let me know. Do all the things, press all the buttons, please and thank you. All right, so once this tinsel's finally on there, I'm going to go ahead and hot glue all this together. So it took me some time to get my configuration right for all these arrows. I wanted to make sure that the patterns were not, the same patterns of the napkin were not touching each other. So took me a while. I sped this part up because it did take me some time to decide what the position is going to be on these specific arrows. But I knew that I didn't want the American flags touching, and I also didn't want any of the blue tops to be together, so I just kept shifting them around until I was happy. But this is all personal preference. I just wanted it to look like a stack of firecrackers because that seems to be my thing this year. I'm not sure. But I also made some firecrackers in a previous video. I can link that video here if you want to make your own using some empty spools. So it was kind of like a recycle, upcycle type video. And then once I was happy with the position here, I'm going to go ahead and just add a whole dollop of hot glue right in the center there. This is going to help our glue from drying too quickly. And I just put a little dollop of hot glue on each and then pressed the sign right in the center, making sure everything was aligned. Now I'm going to touch up the paint on the letters one more time because my Mod Podge wasn't dry yet, so I kind of lifted some of the paint when I pressed it down to adhere everything together. And since I had my black paint out, I decided to add some distressing just to add some more features to our little sign here. You can also go ahead and add, I just thought it gave it more of a 3D effect to add these little features. You could also draw the banner shape on the sides as well, but I chose not to for this specific project. But feel free to do whatever you want on your project, guys. Be creative. Have fun. And then to add more security, I added those little sticks that I took off at the beginning, and I just reinforced them, making sure that they are positioned in a spot where they won't be visible. So I try to put all of them together using some hot glue right in the spot where that banner sign crosses. But once that's all adhered together, you can add this little sign anywhere you like. You could put it on a shelf like this, but like I said before, I wanted to put it on a wreath. But you could also add a hanger on the back and put it anywhere you like. But this is just to warn all my neighbors that there are little firecrackers living in my home. So they are going to have to approach with caution. But that's how it looks on a wreath in my home. You could put it on any wreath. And so I hope you guys enjoy this one. Let me know what you think about this one in the comments below. Now this next one here, I'm going to be using these stars from Dollar Tree. These are some wooden little hangers. So I just cut off the little twine hanger on there. And I'm going to paint this in the color apple red. Now it's not my favorite red, but it's the only one I had in my stash that goes with this decor today. So I'm going to go ahead and paint this on one side, on the sides of this star, and then I kind of dry brush the back just to add some variety. And I want to make this two-sided. So I went and I also painted this white one off camera, and I'm going to go in and sand off the edges to bring that wood grain back through. And I think that looks so good when that wood peeks through the color. And if you don't like distressing, don't distress. Like I said, be free to do what you like in your decor. Don't ever feel like since I do something this way, you got to do it too. No way. Just take the idea and make it your own. All right, so I'm going to go here and heavily distress. I'm going to heavily distress all the edges and a little tiny bit on the face of it because I love that rustic decor. I love that stuff in my decor. So I'm going to go ahead and sand the sides lightly as well as the face on both stars. I start on the white star so that I don't get any of that red paint on my white star. And this is how it looks straight up, close up. So now I'm going to go in and I'm going to do the same thing to the red star. My camera got kind of weird on me, so apologies on that. But as you can see here, they look so good once they're distressed on the edges. I think it's so sweet. But since this red wasn't the correct red color I was looking for, my absolute favorite red is Lipstick Red by Folkart, but I'm all out. So I'm just using what I got. I'm using what's in my stash. We got to use our stash, right? I'm going to go ahead and add some of this antique wax to the red, and now it really is looking more like that red I really love, the lipstick red. But I'm going to take some of this antique wax, and as you can see, I just put little dots. And I'm going in with this little baby wipe. So this baby wipe is actually completely dry. And I save those for my craft projects. And I'm going to go ahead and distress the face on this. And I'm going to do the same thing to the white one, but very, very lightly with almost no antique wax on my little rag. I'm going to go around the edges and just buff it out. I don't really want a lot of this distressing. I actually distressed way too much on this one. So I'm going to go in and sand it off and make it a little lighter. And that's what I chose to do for both of these stars, to give it a little bit of a rustic feel. Now my favorite gold is this Mayan Gold by Treasure Gold Folk Art. And I'm going to go ahead and use a very old chippy brush and just randomly, I have a little bit of gold on this brush, and I'm just going to randomly touch the corners, kind of catch the edges on this star, and then using my finger I'm going to rub it up and down just so that it's random and messy but still gives me that shimmer I love from this gold. Once I distress the face, I'm going to go ahead and distress the edges with gold. We can always distress with antique wax, but I think distressing with gold is so fun on stars. So I go ahead and I do the same thing to both sides of the red star as well. And making sure just to catch those edges and letting it barely touch the face of the star. And then I do the same thing for the edges. Now we're going to go in with the same Podge Multi in matte, and I'm just going to seal my projects. Once this paint is fully dry, then I come in and I seal it with the Mod Podge. And I do that for both projects. Now for a stand, I'm going to use this wood frame from Dollar Tree. It had a circular picture frame in it. I used it last month for my birdhouse decor. I can link that video here as well, actually, if you like fun home decor. And I used the gift bag on that one from Dollar Tree. And I'm going to use this little tiny stand to hold my little star. Now I did paint it in a light gray color called Foggy, so I just kept it in that color because I use that color a lot in my home decor. And now I'm going to make a cute little shabby bow. So I'm taking an assortment here from my stash. I start off by adding this red mesh ribbon from Dollar Tree. I also have two different types of lace ribbon. One is from Dollar Tree, one is from my stash. And then I'm going to add on some of those red, white, and blue tinsel ribbon, as well as some cotton twine, as well as some regular twine. And I just gather it all together at the center and I cinch it and I tie it off with the cotton twine by wrapping it around 3 times and securing it at the back with a double knot. And now I'm just going to cut the loops on both sides of the cotton twine and the jute twine, and I'm just going to cut off the edge and kind of cut them down so they're not so crazy. But I do love a crazy shabby bow. So let me know what you think about this shabby bow, because I know it's out there, but that's the point. That's what I was going for, guys. I can't help it. I got to make what I love. So now I'm going to cover the top there with this button. This button is from my grandmother's stash, and I just love her stash, guys. She was very crafty. She would actually turn these into earrings. But now I'm just going to add it to the top there, just to give a regal kind of Americana look to this one. And on the back, I just added a different type of gray metallic button. And this is just going to tie it into my other decor in my home. I have a lot of metals in my decor, so that's why I chose these. Now I made another shabby bow for my other little star here because I want them to match but not be exactly the same. So for this one, I didn't have another wooden stand, so I'm just going to create one. So bear with me, guys. This is not conventional, but it works. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add this little shabby bow to the bottom of this star. And then I found this clothespin, this kind of vintage clothespin. It's wooden, which fits the brief here for this wooden decor. And I'm going to go ahead and just hot glue it to the bottom of the star. Now I'm going to add a lot of hot glue to the back of this shabby bow because it's going to help me adhere. It's going to help secure this wooden clothespin to the bottom of the star here. So I add a lot of hot glue to this spot here, a ton of hot glue, and I had to hold it in place until it completely set. Now to hide the hot glue, I added a cute big white button, and I love the quirkiness of this little clothespin stand. Now to hide the hole at the top, I'm going to make a little finger bow, and I love keeping the tails long on my bows. So I'm just going to let the bows naturally flow where they want and kind of tack them down with a little bit of hot glue on the corner. And yeah, I like doing that a lot in my decor. So once that's secure in place and tacked down, I decided to add some Spanish moss. The Spanish moss is from Dollar Tree, and I thought it gave it a sweet, primitive kind of vibe to the back of this button. And I kind of love this, guys. It's a shabby mess. Let me know if you love it too. All right, so as you can see here, it's fully sturdy, and I'm gonna add another button to the other side to hide the other side of the bow, but this is like a white little, kind of like mother of pearl-esque iridescent button. I cut the back off using my wire cutters, using my pliers, and then I just hot glued it right to the top there like so. Now for the base here of this stand, I'm gonna take some wooden beads from my stash, and I'm gonna string on 5 wooden beads to this piece of jute twine. And I tried to pick beads that were large. I'll link it in my description box. I have to check the label to see what size these beads are, but basically you want to string them onto the twine, and then we're going to make them into a ring and double knot the end there so that our jute twine is nice and secure. I am about to add a ton of hot glue here, so I'm not worried about this jute twine coming apart. So then I took this little cap, it's a paint cap, and I'm going to add a ton of hot glue onto there. I love repurposing my garbage. Like, I love crafting with things that would be in the garbage. So I'm going to go ahead and just hot glue the bead ring that we just made on top of that lid. And then we're going to put the clothespin standing right in the center. And the hot glue is still setting, so this is a perfect time to push it in there and hold it there for a very long time. And guys, it's very sturdy. Now, I add a ton of hot glue between the wood beads, and I'm going to do that in every single little section around the base there, just to give it some added security. You could also add some Spanish moss there to the bottom, but I ended up covering the lid with a little bit of ribbon off camera. I also painted the base in gold, but that's how it turned out. Let me know what you think about this one in the comments below. I think this is a cute little set, and since each side is different, if I get bored of one side, I could just flip it over and it's a whole new world. All right, guys, there are the little dynamite I made last week. You could check out that video if you like. I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had so much fun creating these projects. Special thank you to our hosts today, Brenda at Rustic and Lace DIY and Christine over at DIY Craftaholic, as well as Sandra from the Shrowin's Nest. Guys, I appreciate every one of you guys who clicked on my video today. I hope that you enjoyed and hit the thumbs up if you did. Please subscribe if you haven't already and hit that bell so you never miss a new video. You could support my channel and my marriage by donating to buymeacoffee.com/arrowsdiy. I use that money for craft supplies. And you could also follow me on Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. As always, friends, I want to thank you so much for watching. Take care, God bless, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye! If you like this video, here's another one that you might enjoy.